That's fine. So what you could do is basically put a now, but it will be again. So if you want, we'll have a small, discussion on that before we start the group work, right? But please do it. Please watch the video. Please watch the video. And so you have the video. So please go through that carefully. Right? Okay. Right. So on the other hand, I'll just remind you what we did on before. Maybe we'll take some time on Sunday morning, and I will just remind you before we start the group work. Right. So rest assured. But now you have some time, so please go through them and go through that video and learn it, study that, and go through the content. Okay, because I don't have another week to give you. Because now that's what. Okay, let me then come to that point. Now your individual assignment is due when? Right, we'll go to that point. Okay, right. So I'm going to give you some benefits now, huh? Real term benefits. Okay, so here you can see, right. Already, I think Prakash gave you the good news, but again, let me also tell you the news. Actually, now you can see, right, the deadline. The deadline to submit the individual assignment is when? When is the deadline? You can see it's 19th July, right? So 19th July, today is 18, that's tomorrow, isn't it? But there's a big but for that. Right? What's the but? I'm going to extend that. Right? Why? Why I'm going to extend it? Because we were supposed to finish the series on 27th. And on 27th, you have got what? You have what? You have got a big event. What's the big event? What's the big event?
Cricket match.
Very good. You have your cricket fiesta. So therefore, I'm going to give you that benefit. Right? What's the benefit? So I'm going to extend, I think already Prakash told you this. I'm going to extend the individual assignment submission till 27th. In fact, let's make it was 19th, right? 19th Saturday. So I'm going to make it 26th. 26th midnight, right? 26th midnight. So I'm going to extend it by 1 week. So you can see I'm going to now do that. Right? Edit. So let's make it 26th midnight. Right? Right. Then the group 1 was supposed to be presented on 27th. 26th, the submission, and 27th, you were supposed to do the presentation. But now there will be an extension for that as well, because we'll have lectures also on 3rd. So the report I will extend by another 1 week. Right. So it's going to be 2nd, right, August, midnight. And 3rd, we'll be doing the presentation. Good. Right. So I'm going to extend that as well. So I discussed with the management and they kindly agreed with this. Right. So let's go to 2nd August. August midnight. Right. And you'll be doing the presentation on 3rd. The presentations. You on 3rd. August 2025. Okay. Right. So now things are extremely clear, isn't it? So that's what I could give my good students. A gift of extension. Right? Is that clear? So also let's make a small change in the date of submission. So I will, not the date of submission from here, from the date when you could submit. So I will make the group submission from, let's say, not 20th, let's make it 28th for your own safety. So some students, what they do is they will try to upload the group one, the individual one to the group one. Now it's not possible because I'll be accepting submission for the group one from 28th July. Right? And you can go up to 2nd August midnight. So that's for your own safety, like the starting date of submission. Okay. Right? Is that clear? Clear the
Sir,
so, yes, Putha, very good. I gave you, Putha, the benefit. I gave you the
sir,
benefit. Yes, Putha.
Prakash, sir,
Yes, yes.
the thing is, sir, you are taking the presentation whole day, right? So for our batch,
Sorry.
like,
Sorry,
you are
Putha.
taking, sir, you are taking all day for our batch only, right? So, I mean,
On 26th, is that what you mean?
no,
20,
no, the
sorry.
third group presentation because there are 18 groups now.
Okay, yes, of course. On
Okay.
one day. On one day, and Putha, within that 4 hours, we'll try to manage it. So what I'm going to do is, you'll see, I'm going to ask you to present. I'll be giving you 20 minutes each,
Yeah.
but there's going to be a but. But
Okay.
in fact, I'm going to ask, sometimes I'm going to intervene. And maybe, of course, I will shorten the presentation.
Okay. Then fine, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because that intervention will have to be done, Putha,
Yeah.
because we are unable to take another date.
Yeah, so because they are another batch also there, so they are also talking
Mm.
with me, so that's why they also
No, they actually, Putha, for
yeah.
them, there's a change now. For them,
Okay then.
Putha, their semester,
Yeah.
I was informed by the management, Putha. Now for you,
Mm.
27th is the last date now. Now,
Yeah.
actually, it was then because of the Create Fiesta, Putha, it was extended till 4th. Actually, yes,
Third.
3rd,
Yeah.
3rd.
Okay.
But Putha, that for that other batch, actually, it was also on 4th. They were supposed to, sorry, they were supposed to finish at 3rd, but due to some management decision, uh, they will be completing that on the original date. So it was taken forward, and then later on something, you know,
Okay.
So I think probably that was there. Therefore on that date. So in case we might even think of taking the whole day, maybe. But on the other hand, Putha, I'll try to manage because uh, there are 18 groups, as you very correctly told. So since there are 18 groups, Putha, we'll have to manage the time carefully. So
Yeah,
what I'll
because
be doing is
yeah.
indeed. So I'll ask you to prepare for 15 minutes presentation. But however, Buddha, and of course you will be present in the group. But however, maybe I will ask him if there's a time constraint to focus on certain areas of your entire
Okay.
presentation. Then I would know because basically my idea is to understand what you have done and whether you have done that. And so the group members are fully conversant on what they are discussing. So that
Okay.
we will have to put out to manage time to focus on certain areas and ask you to put a present on those areas and to manage the time accordingly.
Yeah, sir, because student, yeah, all students are coming to that day for the presentation.
Mhm.
So if they can't do it, so
Hmm.
they will disappoint. So that's why.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Aidata
That's why.
කරලා තමයි ගෙදර යවන්නේ. කරලා තමයි ගෙදර යවන්නේ. ආයිත් rest
That's
assured,
why.
rest assured. Because Putha,
Okay.
again, there won't be a date,
Yeah.
isn't it? ආයි දවසක් හිටින්නෙත් නැහැ. So we have 16 to 4 hours. Let's say 240. Let's say we have 260 hours, that 60 minutes. 260 divided by 18. Roughly it's 15 minutes. So roughly each group, and I'll be asking questions. So we'll be able to manage. And I'm going
Okay.
to ask Putha, I'm going to focus on certain areas. You will be Putha, you will have to familiarize with the entire thing, but then I'll be focusing on certain areas, probably, to manage time. So we might need to do that. So we roughly we have about 15 minutes per presentation. So you prepare for 15 minutes, and by your presentation and by watching what you are doing, Putha, I'll be able to fathom out to what extent you have grasped the things. Good question, very good question. But rest assured, we are going to finish it on that date. Right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, Putha, for informing that and raising that concern as well. And because that will be the final day. So this Sunday will be the last Sunday that we are going to meet for peer discussion. 20. So here you are. So we are having lectures for you. No, this is the earlier batch, and you have this Sunday in the evening. And that's level 3, all 1. Sub-campus, right? Of course, we'll have that. So this will be the last theory lecture, and I'm going to finish it with you. And then 27th, we are not having lectures, right? Cricket fiesta. So you have cricket fiesta. And then on 3rd, the presentations, maybe it's in the morning or in the evening, right? Whatever the time. But we are going to rest assured, we are going to finish it. I'm going to provide you the marks, and that will be the end of the story. No, another week, I'm going to ask you to come. So that's an important point. Thank you, Prakash. Okay, now I think things are extremely clear, right? Because I don't want things to be unclear, and I want the things to be very clear based on what management has informed to me. And so when actually Prakash spoke to me as your batch leader on the individual assignment as well as the group one. So then I spoke with the management, and there were several discussions. And out of that, today, we were able to come into a conclusion. And then I wanted to inform you that as well. Already through Prakash, I informed that the individual assignment could be shifted to next week, in fact, right, 26th. And that the decision was made, and I could take that decision. But the semester extension was decided and informed to me. And so it's now also okay, right? So I gave you the entire benefit. I would have told, no, let's do it on something like that. But earlier, you have to give the at least the individual presentation on time and etc. etc. No, I'm going to give you that benefit as well, right? So you have got one whole week for that, and you have got almost now 3 weeks, isn't it? Almost 3 weeks, isn't it? Yeah. Today is 19, so yeah, 2 weeks. You have got almost 2 weeks to work on. It's 2 weeks because it should be a week after next indeed. 2 weeks to complete your group work. Okay. So effectively, if you complete your individual one, you can immediately start with your group one. So this was announced well in advance, and I have explained again and again what you need to do. So therefore, now it's your time, your turn, in fact, to gear up and complete the things. Right? Clear? Any questions, concerns, Buddha?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, of course.
For the
Please,
group
please go
for the
ahead.
group assignment,
Yes.
we only need to do analysis up to ANOVA, one way ANOVA.
No. You have to do up to today. Up to, in fact, let's call it up to this Sunday, right? Not one way, no. You can also perform non-parametric analysis if you want, and also if you want, you can go up to what I teach today, right? I'll be teaching you today smart PLS, the smart PLS. Now, for the individual one, you don't need to apply smart PLS. Of course not. So individual one, Putha, you asked an important question. For the individual one, you have to go up to what? Descriptive statistics only, right? For the group one, you can go up to smart PLS, right? Which I'll be covering and finishing today to a certain extent. And maybe if time doesn't allow, I'll take some time, maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour to finish on this Sunday. Okay. So you have almost 2 weeks to apply that for your group presentation, group report. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. A good question you asked. Thank you very much, Taru. It was a very important question. How about others? Any questions, concerns? So please clarify, because then it will be easy for you to understand and apply. And of course, if you have any questions, concerns, bring it on this Sunday. Now, even last week, I saw some students brought their analysis and showed me. And they kindly asked, Ane sir, so they were telling that, Ane sir, it's better that if you had 1 week. So you have now got 1 week, right? So it won't take time. It's only descriptive statistics that you have to analyze. And you have to depict, you have to provide. For the group one is where you have to apply all. So my advice to you is complete your individual one very quickly, which I think you have now got your data set, right? And your scenario, your data set, and it's a matter of just analyzing that. Then go ahead with your, right, the group one. So select the best one within your group and extend the analysis till what? Smart PLS. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Putha, please go ahead.
Did they postpone the ESC date?
ESC.
Initially, we had 3 weeks of study leave. Now
I
it is
have taken
2 weeks.
one කියන්න දන්නේ නැහැ පුතා. I have no any idea about that. මට පුතා what I was informed is පුතා this one ඒ කියන්නේ මේ cricket fiesta එක නිසා මේකත් ඊට වඩා පුතා I have no idea. You can
Okay, sir.
no idea about that because මට අර lecturing සම්බන්ධයෙන් තමයි පුතා inform කරේ. They inform me about the lecturing. You can have chat with a clarification. Maybe the
Okay, sir.
yeah, indeed originally පුතා මොකක් හරි ඒක මේව කරලා තියෙන කොහොමද පුතා I think you are so you are getting 14 days of study, right? Am I correct? සාමාන්‍ය එහෙම නේද තියෙන්නේ? You are required minimum of 14 days, no?
Sir, 3 weeks අපිට දීලා තියෙනවා.
All right.
දීලා තිබ්බ sir 3 weeks.
No idea, Buddha. I have completely, I'm unaware of that because you might contact the management. Though I have no idea about how the scheduling is done. So maybe some changes were done. Like I don't know if it's applicable to how it's applicable to you, but maybe you can have a chat with the management and get an idea. But a very important question indeed. When the exams are going to commence, things like that. So, so you might be able to get an idea by discussing with them. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you for that very important question. Samareva, I am unable to answer because actually, honestly, I have no idea. Had I had known that, I would have definitely told you that, but no idea that about any things. And maybe sometimes some idea, if I had to express, I have to be extremely careful because not to confuse you. So, any further questions? Okay. So in that case, we'll go ahead with our discussion then. Today, I'm going to teach you a brand new topic, right? A brand new topic. It's about structural equation model. And it's very, very convenient to do, very easy to do, and you will understand. Let me teach you one by one, step by step, with baby steps to advance, advanced topics I'll be teaching you. So first I'll start with what's this structural equation model is all about. And let me give several examples. And with that, I'll teach you how to run, right, a smart PLS project. How to run the advanced regression analysis that I'm going to teach you. Although it's advanced, you'll see by using this software called Smart PLS, it's a very easy thing to do, right? It's quite an easy thing to do, and you will see how to do that. Okay. So with that, then we'll go ahead with our so you can go to the week 12. Go to week number 12. And then at the bottom of week number 12, just above week number 13, you will see a folder. Smart PLS. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You know anything. Okay, that's good. You can open that folder and there are several files in there. And you can see there's smart PLS. So particularly I'll be using this particular PowerPoint for the PowerPoint presentation. And then the case study document, which is the same case study which I was teaching you. and then the data set. Right? Either it could be the SAV dataset, that's the SPSS dataset, or you could even download the Stata dataset, right? So that's there. So I encourage you to download the first two information, right? And then also these two datasets. Even you should download the Stata dataset, which is RA Premium Database DTA, that's enough, right? Okay. So let's now download Smart PLS, right, version 4. So let's open it. So I have already downloaded that and I'm going to open it. Is it visible? So you can see structural equation modeling, SEM. SEM is an abbreviation for structural equation modeling. Using smart failures. Can you see the topic, Putha?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to teach you today a life-changing modeling, right? Which is called structural equation modeling, which is in fact the next generation of regression analysis. You'll be able to visually do the regression. So using the software called Smart PLS. So today I'm going to teach you in and out of that. So when it comes to structural equation modeling, right, there are two approaches. Just theory, huh? Don't worry about that if you I'm good. Now here you can see there are several distinct approaches for SEM. There are two approaches. The first approach is widely applied covariance-based SEM, CB-SEM we call it, covariance-based SEM. And for that you are using software like AMOS, EQS, Liseral, and M+. Right? These are some of the software that you might use. Right? So it's widely applied. But then you have the second approach is the partial least squares approach, which is the most popular one, which focuses on software like Adanco, PLS Graph, Visual PLS, Smart PLS, and WAP PLS. So here you are using the partial least squares method, which is now the most popular method. Now, if you say, those days it was AMOS based, CBSM based models that were run, but now the software that they use is Smart PLS. And to run partial least squares, right now to run normal regression, you can run it in different software, or even you can run that in Excel if you want, right? OLS regression analysis, right? But as you know, right, we can run it in different software like Stata, Excel, SPSS. Likewise, you can run. Likewise, to run partial least squares, PLSM, structural equation modeling, there are different software. PLS Graph, Visual PLS, even WAP PLS, and Smart PLS. Even Adanco is there, right? But we'll be studying Smart PLS. Why? Why are we going to study Smart PLS over others? So of course, we are going to use partial least squares PLSM because it's the most advanced version. And that version, PLSM, does not require certain strict requirements in the data. Now to run CBSM, the earlier version, right? Covariance-based SEM, the earlier one, the first bullet point, the data needs to be normal. The data needs to be normal. And also there's another requirement that you have to have number of observations. Having limited observations is not enough. You need number of observations, right? To run CBSM. But on the other hand, to run PLSM, partial least square SEM, using particularly Smart PLS, the requirement there's no requirement that the data needs to be normal. Right? There's no requirement. The data needs to be normal. No such requirement. And also, you don't need large number of observations. You don't need. If you have, there's no problem. And even the data, if this is normal, there's no problem. Abnormal data can be analyzed, as well as you don't need a large number of observations. For smaller data sets, also, you can use this PLS, partial least squares, same using smart PLS. Right? So that's the reason why we are using PLSM now, because it's a more versatile, right? Way that you can run it structural equation modeling. Then the next question comes, okay, now I convinced, I think you, that why we should use PLSM. The next question is, why do we need to use smart PLS? Now there is WAP PLS, Adanko, even Adanko is free. And there's an R version, right? Seminar. Right? There's a software called Seminar in R, which is the free software. Right? But why I'm teaching you smart PLS? Because out of all this software, that's the most easiest to use as well as the most advanced package as well. The most advanced package as well as what is the easiest to use. Right? Some of the packages that are listed here is quite hard to use. Now, for an example, Seminar. I have not listed that, but here, right, which can also run PLSM. But the problem is that you have to write the code. You have to write the commands, lengthy commands you have to write in R, which is not easy and which is not convenient as well. But however, using smart PLS, it's a very easy thing to do. It will be very convenient for you to run a PLSM. That's why I'm going to teach you, right, about PLSM. Is that clear? You have to understand what are the two methods as well as why we are using this. Clear? Right. So just I wanted to summarize. Yes, Putha, thank you. I just want to tell you, Putha, there are two approaches, right? And then why we are using smart PLS out of that. Then I told you the PLS approach, the partial least squares approach is the one of the best approaches now that's used in real research. And even out of that, right, there are several software that could do partial least squares. And out of that, smart PLS is the most popular one. Right? Now, Adanko as well as WAP PLS are free. Right? Then Seminar is completely free. The thing is to master them, and they have sometimes they have limited functions. Now, if you take Adanko and WAP PLS, and even Seminar has limited, sometimes it doesn't give certain diagnostics. But in smart PLS, you name it and you have it. So many analytics are there related to structural equation modeling. So that's why I thought of teaching my good students the best one. Why I choose Stata for you? Because it provides the best experience. Right? It's a very powerful software that needs not even be installed. So similarly, I'm going to teach you Smart PLS, but unfortunately, Smart PLS is a paid software and it's very expensive to acquire. So, but however, you can use the original version, the fully fledged version, the full version for 30 days. And after that, it becomes a trial version. And it can be used forever, but there's a limitation that you can have only 100 observations in the free version. In the trial version, all other functions do work, But the problem in this version is, right, the trial version is that in Smart PLS, it could only have 100 observations to be analyzed. You cannot have more than 100 observations after the trial period. You could use that by paying. You have to pay for it. Right? Okay. But you don't need to pay. But remember, this also I have to tell you. Once you install in a computer, Smart PLS, right? Remember this very well and listen to this very well. It's an important thing I'm going to tell you. Once you install Smart PLS on a computer, even if you deinstall, even if you wipe out the entire hard drive and reinstall Windows and even Smart PLS again, right? After the trial period, whatever you do, even if you deinstall, wipe out the entire hard drive, even replace the hard drive, right? Probably, right? It's replacement of hard drive, then it will be able to do that. But again, so you understand what I'm telling, right? So even if you delete Windows and if you reinstall Windows in the same computer and then Smart PLS again, right, it will never allow you to, right, install a trial version after the trial period. So to use the full version, you have to what? Pay after 30 days to use the full version. So therefore, once you install on your existing computer, right, it will stay the full version you could use for 30 days. And if you're going to use the same computer after 30 days, you have to pay. Right. So some of my research students, after 30 days also, if they require, they had to use another computer. Because the trial period is over and it's quite expensive to purchase the trial license. The license for another 30 days or 1 month or whatever, 2 months or whatever. Therefore, be careful if you want to install Smart PLS in your computer, because maybe in the future, if you are going to use the same computer, right, again for real data analysis, right, you got real data for your research, and if you are going to do that, you might not be able to use the same computer, right, in case if the trial period is over. And also, Smart PLS is quite very hard to crack, right? It's I'm not promoting cracking software, but again, it's extremely hard to crack that software. So there are no cracked versions so far which I saw for Smart PLS. So that's what I'm saying, that if you so once you install, you cannot reinstall or you cannot delete it, and you cannot wipe up the entire hard drive. It will not, because actually when it installs the software on your computer, it tracks your hardware ID, right? And based on that, it gives the trial license for 30 days. And after the expiry of that date, you cannot use it. You can use the limited version, which could have only 100 observations. Okay. Is that clear? So therefore, be careful if you want to, in case if you want to use that in the future, maybe for your research project or whatever other thing, you might not be able to use the computer that you are using as a trial software. As a paid software, of course, you can do that. But to purchase this, you have to pay a little bit of premium price. Not like Stata, they are greedy. They did not want me to have a student version. So they were telling there's a student version, but the student version is limited. But Stata, the version that they give is a full version. There's no any limitations. But Smart PLS is quite, I don't know what is it. Let's call it greedy. And they did not allow a fully functional trial version after 30 days. It gives a limited, right, feature that where you can analyze only 100 observations after the 30 days. Okay, so we are going to use the RMSU premium case study, which is very similar to the case study we discussed, right, week before last. In fact, it was last week, Friday. So we shall use the database, RA Premium database, DTO, SAV, same thing. And you have to import this. And I'll show you how to do those things. And also how to do the analysis. So first of all, you have to understand what's this case study and what are the objectives. So let's now download the Word file. I think you have already downloaded and opened the Word file. The Word file is number 2, case study, RA Music Premium case study. Is it visible, Buddha? So please download this Word file and open it. So I'm going to download it and I'm going to open that. Okay. So RA Music Premium app, which is very similar to what we discussed earlier. So to make things easy, I have used the same case study and I'm going to use a similar data set as well, but I'm going to apply a more advanced data analysis, right? A more advanced data analysis. Again, it's regression, but a more advanced regression analysis, right? So this is the case. Okay, let's read it. With an entrepreneurial spirit, a group of students expects to introduce a music streaming app and has launched a trial version with all premium features for a limited time. They intend to know the purchase intention and other dimensions of this premium music app and distributed a self-administered questionnaire among their trial users. Same thing, right, which we understood last Friday. The questionnaire is available in Appendix 1 at the end of this case study, right? The same questionnaire that we saw. The questionnaire consists of 2 parts. Part A consists of mainly the demographic characteristics of the trial users, and part B consists of the variables, independent and dependent variables. These variables are measured using a 5-point Likert scale. So the independent and dependent variables were measured. I think you can remember using what Likert scale. The questionnaire was developed based on literature survey and directly created and distributed. The data was collected from users and are included in a SPSS file as well as you can say SPSS. And also I have put that in a stata data file of RA Premium database SAV, or you can call it the same thing, DTA. So there are 2 files that you can download. So whatever is okay. DTA is also there. DTA. Right. So both files are there. So should go to the LMS, it's there. Okay. Under that folder, it's there. DTA is the stata file, and SAV is what? SAV is what? The SPSS file. Both are the same content, but one is an SPSS file, which is another statistical analysis software, and DTA is the stata software. Right? Okay. A quite heavy investment is expected to be made in further developing, launching, promoting, and maintaining this app. And therefore, the group of students has requested you to perform analysis. Right? So you can see these, what it has given as screening questions. Then demographic questions, gender, age to be written, marital status, highest education qualification, monthly gross individual income, how do you listen to music? Then that's part A, the demographics, and part B has these questions, the independent and dependent variables. Then you can see the same independent variables are there. Opinion, leadership, functional value, emotional value, social value. Then you have purchase intention. Right, you have the purchasing intention, which is the dependent variable. I think you can remember this case study very well, right? You can remember the case study very well. Now, right, you could have run the normal regression, but I'm going to teach you how to run the same regression, right, using the next generation of regression analysis. That's smart PLS. Shall we see how to run that? Okay. Now to do that, you have to first install smart PLS. Now I'm going to teach you how to install smart PLS, but again, remember the conditions that I told you. Once installed, that's it. You cannot install it in your computer, the trial version, for any reason. Right? For any reason, you cannot do that unless you pay. The trial version after 30 days becomes a limited trial version, which they call the educational version, which can handle only 100 observations. Right? During the trial period, 30 days, even if you install it today, for 30 days, you will have the full functional version. Okay. So now let me show you how to download and install Smart PLS. If you want, you can do it with me. But remember, once you install, it will be able to, you'll be able to do it for 30 days. You'll be able to use it for 30 days. For your group assignment, that means you can do that because your group assignment is coming within 2 weeks. Right? So you'll be able to use that during the 4 months, 4 weeks. 4 weeks time, not 4 months. 4 weeks time, you can use that. But on the other hand, in the future, if you want to use this, you might not be able to use that in your computer, the trial version, the 30-day trial version, because even if you delete it, even if you reinstall Windows, even if you put a virtual machine into your computer and try to run it, it won't run because it has some very, very tight security. So it's very hard to crack. Of course, if you really want to do certain things, there are other ways to do that. But again, there's a cost to do that. Okay, now let me show you how to download Smart PLS. So you can go to www.google.com or favorite Google, please go to Google, and then you can type Smart PLS. It's one word, Smart PLS is one word, and you can say download. Okay, Smart PLS download. Then it says downloads under Smart PLS. You can go to downloads, go to downloads, and you can see here there are different versions. So you can see there is the Windows version. Then you have the Mac version, Mac OS X, OS 10, then Linux. Linux version is also there. So if I'm using a Windows-based software, a Windows-based system, of course, operating system is Windows, so I would download this, the Windows install. So it was around 100. Yes. So yes. So it's around 100. Yeah, 84 MB. Not a large file. So just around 200 MB. So I'm going to stop downloading because I don't need to download it. I have already downloaded and installed it. Right. Okay. So download it first of all. And then, so it says free 30-day trial. That's what you have. No credit card, of course, or whatever the things are required. But 30 days, after 30 days, you are unable to use them. Right. Then let's see how to install it. I am not going to install that on my system because it's already installed. So I'm going to play you a video, right, on how to install it, right? Because I'm unable to install it in my computer because if I reinstall it, I will lose my version. Right, my version is quite permanent, right? It's a lifetime license version I'm using. I don't want to lose it, so I'm not going to reinstall. Therefore, I'm going to play you a video how to install it. Okay. So let me play that video, installing Smart PLS. Okay. So let me go to so the task manager is not required. Okay. Let me go back to and stop share and I'll reshare that with sounds. Include sound and I have shared the screen. Can you see my screen and the video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me play the video. So listen very carefully. It's a very short video. So it's around 3 minutes, 3.3 minutes, right? So watch this video on how to install Smart PLS. Now already he will show you the same thing that I showed you, how to download it. Then it's a matter of just double clicking on that and it will run, right, the install. So let's see.
Video, I will explain how to download latest version of Smart PLS. First, you go to Google and type Smart PLS download. After that, you click on download Smart PLS latest release, that is 4.1. When you click here, you will land on this page and you can download as per your operating system. I am using Microsoft Windows, so I click on download Windows installer. When I click here, it starts downloading. You can see here it takes few minutes. When it is downloaded, you can click on exe file. It starts installing Smart PLS 4 on your system. It takes few minutes to install. Click on finish button to run Smart PLS 4. When you run Smart PLS first time, it gives you 3 options to register it. First is student lessons, that is almost free for many years. Second one is professional lessons, that is for those who have purchased a valid license key. Third one is free 30 days trial lessons. I suggest if you did not purchase the valid key, you go for free 30 days trial lessons. And after 30 days,
So you can see what he recommends is and what I recommend is also. Once you install, double click and install it, it will start to open it. And my recommendation is also to use the free 30 days trial license, which will be fully functional. Okay, is that clear? Is it clear? Is it clear, Daru?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay, let's watch the remainder of the video. So 30 days, right? Free trial version. It's great.
you can convert your software on student version, that is almost free for many years.
So that's after 30 days. It
So I
becomes
click
student
on
version.
free 30 days trial lessons. When I click on it, you will land on this page. Here you enter your email ID.
So then once you click the free trial version, it will ask your email ID, give you a primary email ID, and also your first name and last name. And say you agree, and then submit. Then what it will do is it will read your hardware ID, and it will send it to their servers, and then it will create a trial, right? A trial license ID.
First name, last name, and click on submit. You will receive a confirmation code in your mailbox. Please check your mailbox. Here,
Now go to your email and you will receive an email with the trial ID, right? Based on your hardware ID. So therefore, that's why once you install it, you have to again install it on the same computer, the trial. Of course, you can install the paid version, but not the trial again.
I have received confirmation code that is C8295. I copy and I enter here and click on submit button. You can see here I got professional license for 30 days. After 30 days, you can convert your license into student version. That is almost free. If you want to talk about the difference.
Okay, so then you will get the trial license and you can install it. And then once installed it, it will say that you have got a trial version that is for 30 days. All right, 30 days. And these, of course, after 30 days, what happens is it will convert itself to a student version, right? And in the student version, the problem is that you can run the analysis for 100 observations, right? You can have 100 observations.
Between student version and professional version. In student version, there is limitation in functionality. For example, you cannot analyze data if your sample size is greater than 100. However, in professional version, there is no limitation in functionality as far as data analysis is concerned. Now I click on start uses and create my workspace by selecting any empty folder. Here I created an empty folder with the name of workspace. I select this folder. Now it's ready to use. You can analyze your data. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. In this video, I will explain how to download latest.
Okay, so that's how you would install it. And after that, I'll show you what to do. So the interface might be a little bit different from what I'm showing you because they update this software very often, right? So let me show you now. So that's how you would install Smart PLS, right? So once you install it will look like this. So this my version, you can see there's a lot of things there. So once you install that, then you can go and set up a new workspace. Workspace is where it's a folder in your computer that will save all the files related to the particular project that you have created. Workspace is that, right? It can be any location on your computer, right? And you'll be able to store all the related project files there. Automatically, it will be going and saving on there. So that's for the new workspace. So you can go to new workspace and you can set it anywhere that you want. You can create a folder and you can just select that. Then it will store all your project related files over there. That's it. That's the only thing that you have to do to set up this particular Smart PLS for the first use. Right? Is that clear? Okay. Students, are you with me?
Okay, sir.
Very good. Okay. So once you do that, then you'll see that there are, different folders over here. And here, this is the workspace where you have this, and it shows the location that you have selected My Documents or Downloads, right? As the workspace, it will show here. So this where it will show the file path, the folder path that have your files. And then this where you have your project. Right now, if I create a new project, it will be listed here in this pane. And you can create the project on whatever the name that you want, right? And it will be listed here. And here, basically, under each folder that you'll create as a folder, you'll have two things. So if I just expand what's there, you see that there is the path diagram, which I'll tell you how to draw, and you'll have the data set related to that particular project, research project. But you will see that shortly. So now let's see how to create a project in SmartPLS to be analyzed, right? So close this one. Right, okay. Now to create a project in SmartPLS, a new project in SmartPLS, you have to go to new project here. Can you see that? New project. I'm going to click on new project. Then it will ask a name. That's a folder name for the project. So I'll say music premium app research. Right, I think you can see that. Let me expand it so you can see it much better. Music premium app research. Give any name for the project and select create. So you can see here in the project overview, it shows music premium app research. And then say create model. That's a canvas where you are going to create and draw a model shortly. Then it says import data. Can you see that? Right. So first things first, right? So if you want to close this folder or expand, contract this folder, it will look like this. Then if you want to again expand it, you can click on this and it will show it. Then we can go to import data file. First of all, to analyze the data, you need to import the data, right? You need to import the data from SmartPLS, from, let's say, not SmartPLS, the data could be in Excel, it could be in CSV, it could be in Stata, it could be in SPSS. So whatever format it will be there. So you can say import data file, and then you are going to the location where the information is there. So my information is here. I'm going to go here. It might be now in your download folder, the two data files that you downloaded. So you don't need both versions, but one version is good enough. So you can go here. Okay. And you can see a SAV file is there. So that is PSS file, right? The SAV file is there. So I'm going to open that. That's the data file. It can be in Stata, it can be in SPSS, even it can be in Excel or CSV. So it's SAV, that means it's a SPSS file, which is very similar to Stata. Those are alternative packages of data analysis, and you can say open. So it tries to open that and it gives some basic data like what's the minimum value. Again, you can see the scale, right? Different things, the minimum, maximum, right? The minimum value, maximum value of this data just gives those things, right, to verify the information. And then it gives what are the variable names. So PI1, PI2, PI3, PI4, those are the purchase intention for sub questions. Right, twice, of course, on the top, there's ID, gender, age, those kind of things are also there. So you can see all those are there. Then here, there's a nice interesting dialog. It says missing value treatment. Now, if you have missing data, Smart PLS needs you to treat them. Because in Smart PLS, ideally, there cannot be missing values. So therefore, Smart PLS assumes every empty value as missing. 5 empty values so far. Because here you can see somewhere here, 2 and 3. Under age and marital status, there are 2 people who have not responded, 3 people that have not responded. You cannot, it cannot be like that. Age, can you keep blank? You can't. Age cannot be blank. Marital status also cannot be blank. Either you are married or unmarried. You cannot leave it blank. So, but 2 people who have 2 people have not indicated their age, and 3 people have not indicated their marital status. Right? So there are missing 5 empty data values. Now, what we can do is, as we did in SPSS, we can give a huge number. In Stata, we can give a denotation. Usually what we do is we can give a huge number like 999. Now, of course, if you take age, a person cannot have 999. Marital status, there were 2 status, right? As I could remember. So you cannot have 999. So give a huge number for this. If you are not satisfied with 999, give 9999, 9999. Right? Because still it doesn't allow you to import. It's in yellow color, and it's the import, function is disabled because of the missing data. Right? Now to treat missing data, what we'll do is we just apply the mask of 999. If you want, you can make it 9999 as well. So you can say apply marker. Once you apply that, now it says it became green color. That means there's no problem. Notice you can see here, now import, you can import the data. So you say import. So it got imported. You can see, here you can see the data. The variable names are given on the top, mean, median, right? Those kind of importing them maximum, minimum. And you can see there are 31 variables that have been taken. The sample is 375. There are 5 missing values. Right. So you have got that. So the data file got imported without an issue. Right. Is that clear? So you can go back and see now in this, using this symbol, use this symbol, right, which is our data set. It says RA Music Premium database 375, meaning that there are 375 observations. Right. Trial users have indicated their, kind of information. Is this clear? Then next what you need to do is you need to go to create model. Then it asks, okay, the project is Music Premium app. Model type, please choose. I'm going to choose PLSN. PLSN. Then model name, let's call it Music. Give any name. Music Premium app. That's all. Just select PLSN and press save. Is it clear? Then it will create a canvas where you can draw the model. Right? In SPSS, you could not do that. No? Here you can do that. Save it. Okay, good. So now you can see here there's a huge canvas where you can draw your model. You can draw your model. Right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Buddha.
Sir,
Please go ahead.
can you do that again?
Of course, I'll do that again. Why not?
Thank you, sir.
So Buddha, but මොකද්ද පුතාට තේරුන්නේ නැත්තේ? data set එක ගන්න එකද?
So data
model
set
එක.
එක ගත්තා. මේ අර
ඔව්.
new model එකක් create කරන තැනින්ද
ඒක. හරි පුතා, හරි ලේසි. new model එක පුතා create කරන්න data set එක පුතා මෙතන තියෙනවා. So I'll again explain. Good question පුතා. You can see the data set is here. මේක තමයි data set එක. දැන් පේනවාද පුතාට RA premium database 375 කියලා තියෙනවා. There should be RA premium database 375. So row දෙයක් වගේ කොළ පාටින් ඇවිල්ලා ඒක තමයි data set එක පෙන්වන ලකුණ. So it shows this symbol to show the data set and it would say RA premium database 375. Right? ඊළඟට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ now after that පුතා you have to draw the canvas. canvas එකක් මේක double click කරාම canvas එකට යනවා. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ වගේ පුතා පෙන්නනවා it will show a canvas where you are going to draw the model. Now draw කරේ නෑ පුතා I'm going to come to that. Right? Is that clear?
yes sir.
Very good. අහන්න පුතා because if you got stuck please ask me. I'll be extremely happy to help you to understand. Right? Okay. So now you can see when you go to the canvas in this pane all your variables are listed like gender, age, matter status, oil 1, oil 2, oil 3, oil 4. Likewise, it's the things are there. Right? Okay. And then after the break, indeed, we'll take a break now. If not, it will leave it too much. Right? After the break, I will teach you how to draw the model. Right? Then break your karakamu. Let's take a break. And after the model, don't now close anything if you are here. Just keep it as it is. And I'll show you how to draw the model. It's a very simple thing to drag and drop. But I think high time to get a small break because then after that you'll be continuously drawing and running the model. Right, for the break okay. It's almost 8:51. Okay, let's call it 8:50. So shall we meet at 9, a 20-minute break? 9:10? Okay, we'll meet at 9:10. Okay. So, and we'll continue our discussion. Okay, students, welcome back. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay, Buddha, thank you very much. Okay, so welcome back, right? And so we shall see now how to draw the model in the canvas, right? So now we are here. Again, let me show you how we came here. We imported the data. So that's what you can see here. Let me enlarge it. You can see here the green color, in green color, these disks, it shows the data set. 375 observations are there. Then this is the canvas. So double click on the canvas and it will open. Now it's a blank canvas. And now we are going to draw the model, right? Here, what we are going to do is we are going to take the independent and the dependent variables, right? Now, these are the sub questions you can see here. Now, for an example, if you see here, you can see oil 1, oil 2, oil 3, oil 4, right? Let's say there are 4 sub questions. 4 sub questions for opinion leadership, right? Originally there are 6, but now for this example, I have taken 4 questions. So oil 1 to oil 1 to oil 4. So what I'm going to do is, let's see how to take these sub questions. If there are 6, you can take all 6, right? Now it's oil 1 to oil 6, oil 5, oil 4. So I'm going to select oil 1. Then I'm going to press shift and the down arrow key and select all oil related questions. There are 4 questions here. So I selected the 4 questions and I'm going to drag that. I'm going to click on this and drag it, right? Keep it clicking and drag it to the canvas. Okay. Then it will ask a name for that. Yeah, let's call it oil and hit enter. Then you can see, right? These are the indicators, oil 1 to oil 4, and then this is the variable OL, right? Can you see that? So you just drag and drop. But I now, if I go and click on here, I would like these indicators from this side. Now it's indicating this side. So I like to see these indicators. Indicators are the sub questions. I'd like to see them on this side. So what you can do is you can see here, you can change the sides from this pane here. My pane you can select the sides. I'm going to press this one. So it came to this side. So you can put it to different sides. This. So select this one and select this one. So it will be shown from this side. Because I would have the dependent variable here and I'm going to connect it. So I don't want these indicators acting as a barrier. So oil and oil 1 to oil 4. So right, that's oil. Then the FE. FE, there are 4 questions. Again, I'm going to select 1, FE1, then shift and the down arrow key. FE1 to FE4. And I'm going to drag that and I'm going to drop it here and I'm going to call it FE. Hit enter and it will indicate there. Again, I want to put these indicators on this side. So I'm going to select this FE and I'm going to use this button indicator and it will go to this side. So now we have FE, OL and opinion leadership and functional value. Right? Is that clear? So I took 2 now independent variables. Then I'm going to go here and I'm going to expand it and you can see FE is now there. Then I will take EV. EV, there are 3 questions. EV1, down arrow key, EV2, EV3. I'm going to put that.
Excuse me, sir.
Just for that?
So sorry for the interrupt.
Yes, no problem.
Can you show me the how to create a canvas?
How to create a canvas. Araputa kanipeni. So I'm going to simply go out. But I'm going to save this. You can save this. Go to back and පුතා canvas එක create කරන්න මෙහෙමයි. create කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ දරුවෝ. You can see here under music premium app research you will see පුතා the canvas. මේක තමයි canvas. Go and double click on that.
මේ ඒකක් පෙන්වන්නේ නැහැ මේ මියුසික් ප්‍රීමියම් ඇප් කියන එකේ යටතේ.
පෙන්වන්න එපා. ඒක පුතා අනිවාර්යෙන් පෙන්වන්න. මේක පුතා ඕනම project එකක් open කරොත් දෙකක් පෙන්වන්න ඕන. එකක් තමයි ඒක පුතා ඔයා මේක ඉස්සෙල්ලාම නමක් දුන්නාද? ඒක අර පොඩි මේකේ තියෙන මොඩල් කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා තාම. එනවා ඒ ස්ටෙප් එක කම්ප්ලීට් කරලා නැහැ. මෙතන පුතා
ක්‍රියේට් මොඩල් කියන එක තියෙනවා.
ආන්න ක්‍රියේට් මොඩල් එකට යනවා. ඔය ස්ටෙප් එක කරලා නැහැ ඒකයි. ක්‍රියේට් මොඩල් කියලා ගිහිල්ලා ඊට පස්සේ පුතා එතන උඩින්ම තියෙනවා ඒකේ නම. ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙත් TLS කියන එක පුතා තෝරන්න. ටයිප් එකට. හරිද?
හරි.
ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ යටින් නමක් දෙන්න තියෙනවා. ඔය නම දෙන්න මියුසික් ප්‍රීමියම් ඇප් කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ ඕකේ කරන්න. ඒකට පුතා මෙතන පෙනේ TLS කියලා මෙහෙම එකක් එනවා. ඒ ස්ටෙප් එක ඔය පුතා කරලා ඒක. No problem. It's fine.
Thank you sir.
දැන් පුතා ඩබල් ක්ලික් කරපුවම ඊට පස්සේ ඔන්න canvas එක පේනවා. canvas එකේ පුතා මේ ටික දාගෙන යන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Good question.
දැන් අවශ්‍ය.
right. දැන් පුතා අරක drag කරලා drop කරන එක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. No problem. So if we want to FV4 ඊළඟට ඔන්න FV තාවා. දැන් අපි එනම් EV ගමු. So let's take EV. EV1 to EV3. So select them. පළවෙනි එක තෝරලා පුතා down arrow key, shift and down arrow key to select 3 and drag and drop. EV is there. Good. EV is there. That's nice. And I'm going to now use this one to put the indicators to this side. Well, it was this side. I put this side. EV. Then what's the next one? SV. Social value. Social value. So there are 4 sub questions. Select the first one and then shift down arrow key. Social value. So I'm going to put it over here. SV. That's nice. SV is also there. And I don't want these indicators this side. I want it to this side. So what I do is I go here and I click this. So it comes to this side. So we have now SV also. Now we have oil, FV, EV, and SV. Right. So you have those variables. Good. Now let's say you have in this case, you can see there are 4 independent variables. Right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take my dependent variable. What's my dependent variable? PI1, purchase intention. PI1 to PI4. So first one I selected purchase intention. Then shift down arrow key, PI1 to PI4. And then I will put it over here. So it says PI and I'll leave that name as it is and hit enter. So now you can see it came. It's okay to have these indicators here. Let me make. So you see the model like this. If you want to little bit make the canvas smaller, you can see here the size is there. You can make it smaller, then you can see much better. Right, that's nice. So these are there. And now it's a matter of connecting these independent and the dependent. So there are 4 independent variables in this case. And now you have 1 dependent variable, that's purchase intention. Now how to connect this? Now you can see these are still red color. Right? Red color because these are not connected properly. Now what we'll do is we'll connect these independent and dependent variables. How to do that? First of all, you have to use this select, and then connect, then select connect. So to connect that, you can then select the thing, and then while you right? Keep your mouse down, right? Point it to the dependent variable. Oh, it became blue. Again, what I'm going to do is while connect is on. Connect on. So you'll again click on here, and while the mouse is kept down, you are pointing over there. This also, you see, click on this and keep it clicked. Don't raise your mouse button and point it out to him. Same thing here, click it on this and don't raise your mouse button and point it out to him. Now you can see your model got selected and your model got connected. Right? Is that clear? Anything, Aparada? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. How are the others? Because there was evidence that Idesik is doing that because he was asking questions. How about others? Are you doing that? It has to be blue color. It has to be in blue color. If not, something is wrong. Right? Okay, now those are connected very well. Nicely connected, no issue. Right? So that's fine. So this is how you will draw the model visually. Your independent variables and the dependent variables. Now some theory. Now in Smart PLSM, you have to understand certain terminology. Now these are called indicators, sub-questions. These sub-questions, right, reflect a variable, right? But this variable is created through these sub-questions. So this variable is reflected by these sub-questions. So you measured these sub-questions, not this variable directly. So this is therefore called a latent variable. Pi is a latent variable. Same way, oil is a latent variable. EV, FV is a latent variable. EV is a latent variable. And finally, SV is a latent variable. Latent because it's unobserved. You observe the questions. You measure the questions. In the questionnaire, you have the questions, not the variables, isn't it? So that's some terminology. And also, Puta, another thing that you have to understand is there's here two models that you have to validate, right? The outer model and the inner model. What's this outer model and inner model? So that's what I'm going to explain here. So basically, this is your conceptual diagram, right? Let's call it the independent variable. Okay, functional value, emotional value, opinion leadership on the dependent variable. So I took another variable as well, right? What's that? I took even the social value. Later on, we'll see how to do that. Then we'll remove social value. No, we have only 3 independent variables. We drew that, but again, I think we'll remove that. I'll show you now how to remove a variable as well. Since in the conceptual diagram, social value is not there. So how to remove that? Click on this particular, save it, and then you can go to select. Here now, if you want to remove social value, because in this model, right, let's assume that we have only 3 independent variables: functional value, emotional value, and opinion leadership, and purchase intention. So in that case, there is no requirement for social value, even if you took that. How to remove the social value? That's also a good thing, know how to remove a variable, right, in case. So what you need to do is you have to use the select one again. Then only you can select this. And just hit delete. Use the delete key and delete that. So it's good. So, and you can take it this up. So it will look like now this. But because social value, under this one, we are taking only functional value, emotional value, and opinion leadership. So you have the opinion leadership, functional value, and the emotional value, and the dependent variable. or it's a integer. And you can see it. Right? Is that clear? Right? Okay, that's good. So I have given this as a note here. What we did so far. Open Smart PLS4, new project, write a name, import data from Excel or SPSS or whatever, the U9994 missing values, then create the model, PLSM, select the PLSM and provide a name. In the canvas, select the sub variables and drag them to the canvas and provide a name, and then connect it and save the model. Right? Any questions related to that? Is it clear? Now you have to understand. So this is the model. Now you can see I have drawn here. This, the inner one, where this blue color things are connected, is called the inner model. Right? Now you can see the blue color, independent variables and dependent variables. The connection, they're connected. You know, it's get connected. It's called the inner model. Inner model. It's called the inner model. Inner model. Right? What's been connected? Inner model. Right? It's also called the what? Structural model. Inner model or structural model is what you can see here. Right? The blue color ones being connected. The inner model or the structural model. Then the outer ones, here this part. The outer ones are called, which is called, showed in red color, is called the outer model or the measurement model. ඇතුළේ තියෙන දේට අපි කියන්නේ inner model කියලා. Inner thing what we can see, it's called the inner model or the structural model. Right? That's called, that's circled, encircled in black color. The black color encircled. Then you have the red color ones, right? The red color model, which is called the outer model. That means outside. Right? So in Smart PLS, you have to check both. And I'll tell you, first you have to start with the outer model. So what you will have to start with outer, then check the inner one. Why is that? Because the outer model shows these variables, shows these sub-questions. And we have to first check whether these sub-questions or the indicators are valid or not. The indicators are the sub-questions. We need to see whether these sub-questions have validity and reliability. Even in SPSS, that's what we did. Can you remember? Before we created the variables, we checked the reliability and validity. Same thing here. First, check the reliability and the validity of these sub-questions. Okay. Shall we see how to do that? Okay. So therefore, as I told you, first of all, check the measurement model or the outer model. Check the measurement model or the outer model. For that, we need to check several things, choose and check several things. We need to first check the factor loadings. Right? We have to check the factor loadings. And also we have to check certain things more, which I'll show you how to do that shortly. But again, we have to check the reliability and of course the validity of those sub-questions, which are called the indicators of the outer model. Right? Validity and reliability. Then only you will come to the inner model, structural model, to check the things. Right? So again, as I told you, check the measurement model first. Measurement model is what's encircled in red color. to check the sub-questions, whether they are okay or not. If not, there's a big problem. To check the inside, you have to check first the outside. Right? So, as I have indicated here, first of all, you have to run the PLSM algorithm. And you have to choose factor because you are going to check the factors first of all and see whether the factor loadings for these indicators are above 0.5. I think you can remember when we did factor analysis, we were expecting the factor loading to be at least 0.5. The factor loadings at least above 0.5. Right? We have to check that. At least 0.5. Okay. So we can check that and we can see whether it's the case. Check that and see whether it's the case. Shall we check that? So how to check that, we'll see. Okay. Now to check the outer model, right? The outer model, which is also named as the measurement model. Let's see how to do that. We need to check whether the factor loadings of these indicators, the sub-questions are right above 0.5. So at least 0.5. You can go to the minimum of 0.4, right? But if it is less than 0.4, then something is wrong. You might need to remove that question, right? Remove that indicator from that latent variable. So how to check that? To check the measurement model or the outer model, you are going to go to calculate, and go to PLS algorithm. Let me show you, let me expand it. Go to calculate here, calculate, and go to PLS algorithm, which is the first option. This is how you will be checking the outer model, which is known as the measurement model, PLSM algorithm. So go and click on that. Then the dialog box appears and make sure path has been selected because you are trying to check the path. No, it's not paths. You have to select what? Factor, because you are going to check the factor loadings. Not path. You have to make sure you have selected factor, not path, factor. And that's all. Leave other options as it is. Only make sure you have selected factor. And the others you can leave as it is. Data, you can leave it as it is. Right? No worries. And here down you can see start calculation. Down you can see here start calculation. So let's now run this. Start calculation. Okay. Here it gives a nice output. See here what the output is. You can see here opinion leadership, the factor loadings are given. Can you remember the factor loadings? We did that using Stata. Now it gives here visual, the factor loadings for each sub question. So I told you these factor loadings should be above 0.5. Is it? Is it above 0.5? Is it above
Yes.
0.5? Yes. So is there a problem here? No. For the sub questions, 4 sub questions for opinion leadership, I don't see any problem. But suppose if something was less than 0.5, or let's say 0.4, then something is wrong. And we might need to remove that sub question if it's below 0.4. But here nothing is below 0.4. Shall we go to the next latent variable? That's functional value. Here also you can see all factor loadings are above 0.5. Nothing is below 0.4. No issue. How about EV, emotional value? There are 3 sub-questions. How about the factor loadings? Are they above 0.4 or 0.5 in fact? Yes or no? Yes, they are. So I don't see for the independent variables, right, the outer model there's an issue, and we'll go here. For purchase intention, there are 4 sub-questions. I also don't see any issue there. Okay. So you can see there is no any issue, and we can say the factor loadings are fine. Right? So that's the first thing you have to look at. So that's what I say. Observe the factor loadings. Calculate PLS algorithm. Make sure you have chosen factor, not path, and run the calculation. Start calculation. Then see whether the factor loading is about 5. And if something is above 0.4, then it's a concern. Then after that, you can check the reliability analysis. Right? Reliability analysis. Now, you can remember even in SPSS, we check the reliability. How to check the reliability? You can go back to the SPSS out, the smart PLS output, and then you can go under here in this section. You can see on the top, from the top, you can see here in this section, you can see some information is there. Go a little bit down, 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 and you can see under quality criteria, there's something called construct reliability and validity. Can you see that? Under this section, again, I'll show you where's this section. You have to go to this area. PLSM algorithm, it says, isn't it? So you can go here and go a little bit down, 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 construct reliability and validity. So just click on construct, so it will expand itself. And then you can see a nice table which indicates Cronbach's alpha. You can see for each variable, the Cronbach's alpha value is given. What can you see? The Cronbach's alpha value. I told you the Cronbach's alpha value for a variable should be above what? Now these show in the reliability. Internal reliability. Internal consistency. I told you the Cronbach's alpha value should be above what? Remember,
0.7.
0.7. Very good. So you can see here, all are above 0.7. That's why it's in green color. If something had been less than 0.7, right, it would have been colored in red. Here, everything is good. Then there's an additional reliability that's called composite reliability, row A and row C. Even those, you can see, those are also showing the reliability, consistency, row and row C, row A and row C. Even those are above 0.7. Right? Just remember, these are all reliability statistics. Cronbach's alpha, composite reliability, and composite reliability, row A and row C, all are above 0.7. Is there an issue? No. I don't see any issue related to the reliability. So I could go back here, and I could go back here, and you can see here, reliability analysis, Cronbach's alpha and the composite reliability. See the construct validity and reliability section. That's what we went into. We can see both the Cronbach's alpha and row A composite reliability, even row C is above 0.7. So we could conclude that, right, they have reliability. These questions are consistent, right? For under each, we have now 1, 2, 3, 4 variables, right? 3 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. All are reliable, right? All are reliable. Okay? All are reliable. No problem. Impeccable. Impeccable. Right. Then now let's go to checking the validity. So again, let me remind you what we did. First of all, we checked the factor loadings. Right. Now we are checking the measurement model or the outer model. And then we went and checked the reliability. Right. Factor loadings were fine. All were well above 0.7. And then we check the reliability. In terms of the reliability also, we saw 1 by alpha and the composite reliability is about 0.7. Right. Then we can check validity. To check the validity, we can use the ABE. Right. So in terms of validity, when it comes to validity, there are two types of validities. Convergent validity, and in the next slide, there is discriminant validity. What's that? Convergent validity. Convergent validity means these questions should converge. Right? Convergent, it should come together. Right? If they don't come together, then there's some problem because these sub-questions are touching upon one variable, one latent variable. So that's why it says convergent validity. It has to converge. These sub-questions has to converge into one variable. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4 variables, 3 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. So those sub-questions should converge. So you can see here, you go to the model, right? I can go to model again. I can go to top and I can, so if you want to go and see the model again, you can go over here under graphical, you can see the graphical output is there. So you can see here there are 3 independent variables and 1 dependent variable. So these 4 sub-questions should converge to opinionated. Then these 4 sub-questions should converge to functional value. And these 3 sub-questions should converge to emotional value. And these 4 sub-questions should converge to poetry intention. That's what convergent validity means. Now to check whether convergent validity is there, right? So I told you there are 2 validities, convergent validity and discriminant validity. Discriminant validity means that whether they are different. Convergent means those sub-questions should come together. Divergent validity or discriminant validity, which is the next one, we need to check whether they are different from each other. Right? Because we have 4 distinct variables here. We need to check whether it's different as well. So again, let's come to convergent validity. To check the convergent validity, you have to check something called the AVE, average variance extractor. Average variance extractor. So to say that there's convergent validity, the AVE should be above 0.5. What? The AVE should be above 0.5. Again, you have to go and see the construct value and reliable section, which we checked earlier. So let's go back again to the smart PLS output and expand this a bit. And you can see I'm going to go down again to the same location under quality criteria. We have construct reliability and validity. You can see. Then I'm going to go to this table. I'm going to minimize this. And you can see in the last column, you have average variance extracted. Average variance extracted, right? This thing is there. So you can see the average variance extracted are all above what? Are all above 0.5. Can you see that? So you can see that now. Average variance extracted, I'm going to expand it. You can see all are above 0.5. So AVE, right, is above 0.5. What can you say? What can I say? There is convergent validity. So reliability was there. Convergent validity is there. Is that clear? Convergent validity is also there. Students, clear? So check this. Convergent validity is there. Then thereafter, what you need to do is, so you check the reliability was there. You check the what? From batch alpha, rho A, rho C, those are all above 0.7. Then you into validity and you first check the convergent value. You can see the AV value is above 0.5, no problem. Right. Then next one you are going to check the discriminant value. Now these are 4 different variables. So to check whether those are 4 different variables, you can perform a discriminant validity analysis. To check the discriminant validity, you can use 3 criteria, whether these are different from each other. One is called the HTMT ratio, right? The HTMT ratio. HTMT stands for, you can see here, HTMT ratio, heterotrait monotrait ratio. It has to be to say that the HTMT ratio is good, it has to be less than 0.85. That's the threshold. Right? That's the threshold. It has to be less than 0.85. Just keep that in mind. The HTMT ratio, to say that there's discriminant validity, there are 3 criteria. HTMT ratio is 1. Right? This has to be less than 0.85. So let's go and check that now. Right? Let's go and check that. So I'm going to go to here, and we can see now I am under construct reliable validity. I'm going to go now, and you can see here next to that there's discriminant validity. Right? Under discriminant validity, it gives the HTMT metrics. You can see by looking at the HTMT metrics, everything is less than 0.85. Is that good? Yes, that's what we expected. To say that there's discriminant validity, these values should be less than 0.85. So I told you that you can check discriminant validity in 3 different ways. This is what it says is that these variables have to be different from each other. Right? These variables has to be different from each other. So that's what we check under HTMT. So then there's another way also to check that. HTMT, then Forner-Lanka criterion. Forner-Lanka criterion. What's that? So let's go back again to the output, and you can see here under this one, you can see there's another one which says what? Under discriminant validity, Forner-Lanka criterion. Forner-Lanka criterion is an interesting criterion. What it says is, these are diagonal, isn't it? 0.805, 0.808, 0.773, 0.790. These are diagonal. These are diagonal. What it says is under Forner-Lanka criterion, everything below the diagonal as well as everything across the diagonal should be a smaller value. Now, for an example, it's 0.805, 0.392, 0.8281, 0.245, all are below 0.805. So good. Then across also it has to be low. So 0.808 across it's 392. So it's 0.392, it's good. It's low. Then 0.773, 0.351, 0.281 are below indeed this 0.73. And of course it's below 0.808. These two are point below. It's below 0.808. Then 0.790, just these values are below 0.790. So in that case, you conclude, right, there's discriminant validity based on Forner-Lanka criterion as well. What? There's discriminant validity based on Forner-Lanka criterion as well. So that's the second way that you could establish discriminant validity. What was the first way? HTMT ratio. The HTMT ratio requirement was that the HTMT ratio should be less than 0.85. That was achieved, and these also achieved. The third way is to look at the cross loadings. I have given a note here. You can see you have to look at the cross loadings. Cross loading is basically what we saw earlier under factor analysis. You can see you can go to cross loadings, and you can see here that's also under here. Under discriminant validity, you can see the cross loadings. So cross loadings are very simple thing. EV, you look at the EV. So these EV 3 questions, you can see everything is loaded under here, and the values for EV for under other variables are quite very small. Then FE, so that's a good indication. The FE, you can see, under FE, you can see these questions are loaded under FE, factor loadings are higher. But for all other variables, for these, it's below 0.5. But for F, it's 5. Then, let's see, for 4 questions. In oil 1 to oil 4, you can see here very clearly. This oil. So for oil, you can see the values are very high. But for all others, it's low. So there's the loadings are nice. Then purchase intention is the last variable. You can see purchase intentions for questions have larger values, but for all other variables, these are having smaller values. So that shows the factor loading. The factors are loaded under each variable. So that's an extremely good thing to see. Again, which establishes discriminant value because it's discriminant or it's different. So these EV questions fall under EV, so it's different from FE, from oil, from PI. That's what it says. So you should be extremely happy to see that. So all discriminant value criteria, what are those? The HTMT ratio, Fornalaga criterion, as well as cross-loadings indicate that these are 4 different variables. So you have established validity as well. So what were the validity that you established? Convergent validity as well as discriminant validity. Now, if I go to the earlier analysis, it was the convergent validity. To check the convergent validity, you looked at the AVE, average variance extractor. And I told you if the average variance extractor is above 0.5, that's good, which we saw in this case. Then validity, the next type of validity is discriminant validity. So what I was telling is the discriminant validity should be what? Could be checked in 3 different ways. One is you can check the HT-empty ratio, which has to be less than 0.85. Then the Fornalaga criterion, you looked at the diagonal and see whether other values are below the diagonal values. And then, of course, check the cross loadings, and you can see you saw the loadings were under each variable. Okay. Okay. And also for the now to check whether the model fit, right? Whether the model fits well. You can also use certain criteria like SRMR, standard root means square residual, then NFI, normal fit index, then R squared, coefficient of determination. I think you can remember either R square better, right? So it's above 0.5, it's substantial. That's what we saw. Then Q2 predictive assessments likewise. Here also, if you go, you can see some of these. If you go to the output, you can go and see here. Let me expand it. So there's this fit indices, you can see fit indices, model fit is there. And you can see some of them. SRMR. I told you the SRMR should be less than what? The SRMR should be less than 0.08. Let's go and see what's the SRMR here. 0.075, that's good. Then NFI. What was the NFI that we saw? NFI should be above 0.90. In this case, it's not a major issue, it's 0.75. Ideally, it should have been above that value. But here there's a small issue, but again, not a big issue. NFI, normal fit index, should be right, the value of 0.90 or above, acceptable. But again, here it's not SRMR. So okay, so good fit is there and not bad. Right. So likewise, you can see that kind of fit indices as well. Right. Then you can report the measurement model. Right. That's it, what you have to do. So basically, you checked those kind of things. So right, again, let me summarize. So you started with the measurement model. That's the outer model. Right here, the red color things. And you checked what? First of all, the factor loadings. And ensure that the factor loadings are above 0.5. Then you did a reliability analysis. Under reliability analysis, you checked what? Confidence alpha, row A and row C. which is composite reliability, which were all well above 0.7. Then you check the validity. I told you in checking the validity, there are two kinds of validity. Convergent validity, you check the AV. And here also you saw all AV values were above 0.5. Then you checked the validity of in terms of discriminant validity. I told you to check the discriminant validity, you need to check the HTMT ratio, which should be below 0.85, which we saw. Then follow Lanka criterion, you should see the diagonal and see other values are less than the diagonal. And then we need to check the cross-loadings. So in this case, all were okay. And of course, you can check the SRMR as well as init file to see whether the values are within these parameters. To a certain extent, it was also observed. That's all about the measurement model. So what's our conclusion? In terms of the measurement model, I don't see any issue in the measurement model of this particular research. Right? I don't see any issue. Then what we shall do is, we shall go to the structural model. Structural model is what we call the inner model. Now, once you verify that the sub-questions are okay, the variable, in that case, the latent variables are okay. After that only, you can see whether the relationships are fine, whether those are significant or not. Right? Now you have the model. Let's go to the model. Here, if I go top, on the graphical, you can see the model again. So now what we need to see is we need to run, right, the analysis and see whether the relationships are significant or not. That means the inner model. How to do that? I'm going to save this one. Yes, I'm going to save the report also. Right. And then I'm going to go back. Right. I'm going to go back. Right. And you will come to this screen. And now I'm going to go back to calculate again. Because now I'm going to validate, I'm going to check the inner model. So I'm going to go the construct model as we called it. I'm going to calculate. And now I'm going to go to bootstrapping, not PLS algorithm. Now check the outer model, you use PLSM algorithm. Now I'm going to use to check the inner model, right? I'm going to use bootstrap. So you can see here, bootstrapping 5000, that's good. And you can leave all others as it is. But go to PLS setup and now select path. Because now you are going to check the paths. Earlier you checked mainly the factors. Now you are going to see the paths between the independent and dependent variable. So do only change in terms of path. That's all. And leave all others as it is. And then go here and say start calculation. So it's a significant computation, so it will take some time because it's run 5000 iterations. 5000 iterations, subsamples to do the analysis. Now comes your final output. Here you are indicated in this one, the R square. You can see the R square value is how much? R square value is 0.167. What does it mean? 16.7% of the variation of the purchase intention is explained by these three independent variables: opinion leadership, functional value, and emotional value. Is that good? Is that good? No, it's not good. Right, the R squared value better above 0.5, even better above 0.7. Here it's a tiny value, right? But again, what's interesting is not that. So now what we are going to see is we are going to see whether these paths are significant or not. To check that, you can go, so let me put universes to check that, you can go and see the path coefficients. So how to check the path coefficients? You can go to path coefficients and then it shows just the paths. That's what it shows. EV, emotional value on PI, purchase intention. FE on PI and OL on PI. And you can see here nicely, right? It shows whether the variables are significant or not. P-values are given. What about the first relationship? Emotional value on purchase intention. Is it significant? It's given in red color. That means it's not. Because it's above 0.05. So if the p-value is above 0.05, we say that there's no systematic relationship, no systematic impact. Right? Then how about the next one? Functional value and the opinion leadership. Those have a significant relationship. Those have significant relationship. Because why? The sig values are what? Less than 0.05. So there are positive relationships. That's what you can see. And it's significant. These are significant. So in that case, you can conclude functional value and opinion leadership indeed have a positive impact on the dependent variable, purchase intention. So that's your final conclusion. So you can say, now if you have developed hypothesis 1, this for this one, hypothesis 2, then hypothesis 3, you can say hypothesis 2 and hypothesis 3 are supported. Right? Hypothesis 1 is not supported because D is not significant. D is not significant. Emotional value and purchase intention. Is that clear? Right? So this is the final outcome. Right? You can report this table. This is the regression table finally. And if you go to the diagram, right, again, if you go to Smart PLS and if you go to the graphical output over here, so graphical output, you can see here the paths are shown. And it's significant, but this is not significant. Emotional value is not significant. So here the significant value is given. But on the other hand, if you want to show the coefficient and the significant value, you can go over here and you can say inner model, show the p-values and the path coefficients. The path coefficient that's here, so it shows now both. It shows here opinion leadership on purchase intention. The path coefficient is 0.209, which is significant. Then 0.2227, it's significant. Then 0.097, the path coefficient, but it's not significant. So these are the strengths of the relationships, the impact. It's significant. So this is your final outcome. Right? This is your final outcome. So that's why I have given a note over here. So finally, you can check the significance of each independent variable on the dependent variable visually. Visually, you can check that. Right? Visually, you can check that. Is that clear? So this is what structural equation modeling means. Right? So these, as you can see, you can visually check, right, the independent and dependent variable relationships, the impact. Okay, which you did on friction analysis. But of course, you could have done this in SPSS or in Stata without an issue. But the problem is if the model gets more complicated, Stata cannot be used. Right? Stata cannot be used if the things get more complicated. Now let me complicate it a little bit more. Right? For that, I'm going to now introduce what's a moderator. Right? Now, do you have any questions? So I encourage you to watch this video again. Right? So what I did, I'll just again summarize before I make it more complex. What I did was, first of all, I understood what are my independent and dependent variables. So there are 3 independent variables and a dependent variable. And I drew the model. I imported the data and I drew the model. And then I understood that there's an inner model and outer model. And I start with what? When I analyze, I start with what? Inner model or the outer model? Inner modeling and the outer modeling can start current. Students.
Models.
Outer model. We start with the outer model and check whether these sub-questions are okay or not. Then you come to the inner model and check the relationship, path coefficients. The outer model is also known as what? The measurement model. The inner model is known as what? The structural model. So in checking the outer model, I told you that first check the factor loadings. So we saw all the factor loadings were above 0.5. Then check the reliability. To check the reliability, check what? The converse alpha as well as the composite A, rho A and the rho C. All were above 0.7. Then check the validity. In terms of validity, you have to check the convergent validity, check the AV values which are all above 0.5, and then check the discriminant validity. I told you to check the discriminant validity, there are 3 ways. One, check the HTMP ratio, which should be below 0.85. Then see the Corner criterion with the diagonal and see whether the other values are less than less than those values, less than the diagonal values. And also, if you really want, you check the cross loadings as the third way to establish the discriminant validity. Once you see all these things, then you might also check the fit analysis to see how well the model is fitting. So SRMR as well as NFI, which we did not see that much of an issue. And you finish the measurement model or the outer model, checking the outer model. Here we did not see issues. Then you come to the structural model and run the final what? Calculation using bootstrapping. And then you will see what variables are significantly impacting the dependent variable. Versus intention. You saw that there are 2 variables only out of 2 variables only is having a significant impact. Okay, that's what we did. So I encourage you to watch the video again and do it. Then it will be wired into your brains. And I expect this to be done for your group work. Okay, group work. Right. Right. Now, I would also like to teach you, before we wind up today, what's a moderator. What's a moderator? Right? So what's a moderator? A moderator is a variable that strengthens or weakens an existing relationship. What do you mean by? Let's say salary is impacting satisfaction. Employee salary is impacting employee satisfaction, right? Salary is impacting what? Employee satisfaction. Let's say. Then let's say I'm going to now, what's the independent and dependent variable here? Salary is the independent variable. The dependent variable is satisfaction. The independent-dependent relationship is there. Now let's bring to this equation a moderator, gender. You know, gender can either strengthen the relationship between salary and satisfaction or weaken the relationship. It can be even age. Age could strengthen or weaken the relationship. Gender could, because it says that some genders are a bit harder to satisfy, it seems sometimes. Therefore, gender might impact the salary and satisfaction relationship. Right? That's what we call a moderator. So here, let's say if you draw without moderation, only the independent-dependent variable, you can see satisfaction equals alpha plus beta into salary. So this is the straight line. With moderation, you are going to include gender. So satisfaction, again alpha, beta 1 salary, beta 2 gender. You enter gender variable, and then comes the interaction variable. To see the interaction or the moderation, you have to create a new variable by multiplying salary and gender. That's called the interaction variable. So if you put this moderation variable, it creates an interaction variable for the moderation. Salary and gender, that's called the interaction. It interacts. That's what we call moderation. Either strengthens or weakens the relationship. Right? So therefore you create a new variable. So this is the interaction. So we need to see whether this interaction variable is significant or not. Right? Whether this interaction variable is significant or not. Shall we see that? Why not? We'll see that. Now, how to introduce case data? You have to create that interaction variable manually. But if you are going to do that in Stata, it's very easy. I will say this again. I'm going to go to out, and I'll be going again to the canvas. Right? Again, going to the canvas, going out. So here the canvas is there. So I'm going to open the canvas of this one. So now the canvas is there. Then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag gender into the equation, gender into this canvas, gender. I'm just going to drag it and put it over here. So I will put it over here. Gender. So I'll hit enter, so it will come. So you can see now gender is here. So it's still red color because I did not connect to anything. So now I'm going to connect it. I'm going to connect, and I'm going to draw a straight line to this line. In a dotted line, now it's shown. Gender is moderating, opinion leadership, and versus intention. Then another one from here to here. Now gender is functional value and versus intention. Then gender is also moderating, right? Let's say emotional value and versus intention. So now you expanded the model. Instead, if you want to do that, you have to create 3 interaction variables by multiplying gender with opinion leadership, gender with functional value, and gender with, let's say, emotional value. Right? Okay. And I'm going to save this one. And first of all, you can run the PLS algorithm and check the outer model. So let's check quickly the outer model. So make sure it's the factor is being selected here. This you are going to first check the factors are okay and start calculation. Okay. And first check what? The factor loadings. Of course, there's no issue. Here also there's no issue. There's no issue. And there's no issue. Here there's gender is only 1. You don't have 4 sub questions, 5 sub questions. That's fine. You have only 1 question on gender, male, female. That's fine. So the factor loadings are fine. And after that, I'm going to go to what? I'm going to go to construct reliability. I can see the complex alpha value are high for everything. Even row A and row C, the composite reliability was okay. So that seems fine. Right? Reliability is fine. Then validity, first of all, I'll see whether the convergent validity is there. To check the convergent validity, I'll check it over here. You can see all AV values, which indicates the convergent validity is higher than 0.5. There's no problem. Then thereafter, right, I'm going to go and check the discriminant validity, the next one. For the discriminant validity, here you can see all values should be above 0.85, but some values are above 0.85. You can note that, particularly interaction variables. So therefore, that might indicate the discriminant validity might not be there for certain variables. And of course, you can check that for this HTMT ratio, and you can check the Fornell Lanka criterion. I don't see there is a big issue there. Everything is across and down, it's small. So the Lanka criteria indicates that there's no major issue as well. And you can check the cross loadings. Okay. You can check the cross loadings as well. I don't see a big issue there as well. So overall, I'm satisfied with the outer model. In that case, you can save this. Okay. Done. Okay, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to now run the inner one. Go here, calculate, bootstrapping, 5,000, and go here and make it path because we are checking the path provisions. That's all what you have to do. And if you PC setup, you can see it's 5,000, right? 5,000 here. BT setup, bootstrap setup, 5,000, at least 5,000 iterations. That's a good one. And you say start calculation. So it's running 5,000 times this time. Okay. So now you can go to what? The path diagram. Path coefficients. You can go to the path diagram, path coefficients. You can see the interaction variables here. These are the direct relationships. So you can see the direct relationships. Okay. None of the direct relationships are now significant. Not significant. These not significant. Ah, yes, this is significant. OL, right? OL is significant, but we are not interested mostly on that. We are looking at the interaction variables. Gender or the relationship between OL and PI. It's not significant. Gender doesn't have an interaction effect, but on functional value and purchase intention, gender plays a role. There's a positive impact. Yes, it's having, but gender on emotional value and purchase intention doesn't have an impact. Since gender has a positive impact on the functional value and the purchase intent, and since males have that kind of impact, seems they are more towards they are seeking for functions or the aesthetics. They are not influenced by opinion leaders sense. Okay, so basically you can see opinion leadership has, when you put the interaction term as the moderator, you can see opinion leadership is having a direct relationship on the purchase intention. But the moderations, you have 3 moderations, only the moderating impact of gender on functional value and purchase intention is what is significant. Because you can see here, these are the only things that are significant, all are given in red. So therefore, only in one case only gender moderates. Gender moderates between functional value, right, on purchase intention. So that's how you check a moderating impact. Instead, if you are going to do that, you have to create interaction terms like this manually and run regression. It takes time. But here you can see everything was done using smart paints. Just to draw in the canvas. If I go back, I just drew that. And if I want to put age as a moderator, I can put that. I can have 2 moderators and see with the age moderates. Likewise, I can make it very complex. Is that clear? I think that's enough for today, right? So I taught you smart PLS. I taught you how to do a simple, how to draw a simple, path diagram and interpret the results. And also I taught you how to introduce what? How to introduce a moderating variable and see whether it's significant or not. Okay. So those are the things I want to discuss with you. So I know I discussed a lot. So what you should do now is, right, watch this video again and do it one by one. Do it one by one. So you'll be able to better understand. And so we'll be meeting on this Sunday. Bring your questions. Meanwhile, I'll be doing a case study that I did, right, which is going to be similar to what I did last Friday. Okay. Okay, so with that, I think that's enough for today. Right, we had a lengthy discussion, and I introduced what Smart PLS and did that. So please do it, and please apply this also in your group assignment. Right, for your group assignment, please apply this. Okay. Right. With that, then we'll finish for today. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If not, we'll call it a day. Right. Any questions? Better you
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Buddha. Please go ahead.
So අපි ඒක කොහොමද copy කරගන්නේ sir?
Very follow question. Then ඒව පුතා copy කරගන්න ඕන. දැන් මේ part diagram එක copy කරන්න ඕන නම් පුතා right click කරලා මේ තියෙන. So right click කරලා මේ diagram එක කොතනක පුතා. Now if you want to copy this diagram to Word or whatever, right click on this diagram and say export as image. And then it gives that if you want to copy that even to the clipboard. That means you don't want to create image. Or if not, you can create image as well. So let's say I want to copy it as the clipboard, and you say export. Then now it's copied to the clipboard. Clipboard means it's the computer memory. And what you're going to do is you can go to Word, open a Word file with it. Word or Excel or whatever, there's no problem. I'm going to go to Word. Right. So open the Word. And we can paste it. So the part diagram comes here. Copy color paste करना पता है. The table है कौन के लिए? Now let's say you want a table there. There are several tables. Same way, right? But I recommend first copying and pasting it to Excel. My recommendation is Excel लेके copy कराने की है. A tables Excel. Now let's say for an example, you asked a good question. I'm going to go open Excel, right, and keep it over there. And let's say you want to go here, right? And let's say you want to maybe do the computation, bootstrapping, right? And you go to PLS, and yes, it's path. That's good. And 5,000 illustrations, right? And you'll get the path diagram. First of all, check the outer model, and then check the inner model, the structural model. So if you want to come, let's say now you want to take the final path coefficient table. Maybe a path coefficient. So if you want this table, what you need to do is it's extremely easy. Here you can see, here it's there, what? Copy to Excel. My table Excel, copy to Excel. Copy to Excel. Then open Excel. Just open a blank Excel file. And then put a Control V. Or you can Control V will take out there. Go to File and paste. And you get this file. You get this table. So you can see these are the moderation impact, and these are the p-values. Right. P-values. You can see only one instance is only that significant. This significant and only this significant. P-values based on the p-value. copy करके paste कर. Good question.
Thank you,
Is it
sir.
that clear? By all means. Right. තව එකක් එනං මේකත් කරලම යවන්න. Give me 2 minutes. Right. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. Go to your past paper. To show you that now you can do 100, not 120% of your past paper. Go to your past paper. I know it's not the best time to show a past paper, but again, last time I discussed about the past paper. Past paper එක question එක ඉතුරු වෙලා තිබුණා. There was one question only that was remaining. And now let me cover that also. We'll go home. We cannot go home now. My God. අපිට attendance ගන්න තියෙනවා. Right, take it come. So this is the past paper. Oh, attendance අරගෙන ඔයද. Okay. So ගෙදර තමයි ඉන්නේ. ඉවර කරමු. If you go to the past paper and go to the question number 5, we of discuss this all we discussed that day. And now this is where you have what? Structure equation 1. Here you are given reliability and validity matrices. Then path coefficient is given with what? With an interaction impact. That's a moderating impact. You can see the interaction is there, multiplication side. Here age has been considered as what? With as the moderator. So then I have given evaluate the reliability and validity of the construct using the relevant tables above. So if you look at table number 1, what can you tell about the reliability? What can you tell about the reliability? Are these 4 variables reliable? Yes. Because all are 0.7. 1 is not having an issue. 1 is below 0.7 indeed. So there were 4 altogether 4 variables. Of course, for 1, the internal consistency seems problematic. Then when it comes to AV, what does AV show? The convergent validity. All are above 0.5, so there is no issue. That's what you could comment on that. In terms of path coefficients, you can see the accuracy of error predictions on effectiveness is significant. Then the reduction of deletion bias on effectiveness is significant. And time efficiency is significant on effectiveness. Right. The moderate is age. So you can see when it comes to age and those relationships, only age that has a moderate impact on time efficiency and effectiveness. So that's what you can see. Even you can draw conceptual diagram through this T. So in this case, right. So if I draw the conceptual diagram, I don't draw that, but again, if I see the graphical input, here you will have these 3 independent variables. What are the independent variables? Accuracy, reduction of deletion bias and time efficiency, and the dependent variables efficiency. And your moderation is age. Age, you can draw here, age, and draw straight lines to these relationships. That's the path diagram. So discuss the relationship which we did. We discussed, right? 3 independent variables are having a significant impact, but when it comes to moderation, the age moderates only the relationship between time efficiency and effectiveness. Recommend strategies. So you can say whatever significant, you can recommend strategies. Okay. So you get 20 marks. Right. Okay. Let's now take attendance. Attendance ගමුනේ. User. Let's take attendance. Okay, let me add a session. Today is 18th July. And the class was from 1930. And which went, let's say, till 22:35. Let's take 5 minutes more to record the attendance. Student recording. Rotate. Right. So we be ready for that to take the attendance. Right. I'm going to now display the things. Display the QR code. So please record your attendance. Can you see that, Buddha?
Sir,
Yes, Buddha.
අපි
Hey.
මේ ෆැක්ට් ඇනලිසිස් එකක් කරද්දී ස්ටේට් එකේ ලිකඩ් ස්කේල් ක්වෙක්ෂන් 3ට වඩා තියෙනවා නම් මේ ඒ ලිකඩ් ස්කේල් ක්වෙක්ෂන් ඔක්කොම එකපාරම ටෙස්ට් කරන්න ඕනේද?
ඔයාපුතා අදහස් කරේ questions නේ මම හිතන්නේ ඔයා හිතන්නේ variables කියන එක නේද ඔය අදහස් කරේ.
ඒ
Variables
කියන්නේ සර් දැන් අපි එක වේරියබල් එක ෆැක්ට් එකක් ගන්න වේරියබල් ඒ කියන්නේ ක්වෙක්ෂන් පහක් තියෙනවා නම් එක
අන්න
වේරියබල්
ඒක
එක
තමයි අන්න හරි. ඔයා අදහස් කරේ පුතා variables නෙවෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ questions නෙවෙයි. ඔයා අදහස් කරේ variables වලට දැන් හිතන්න ඔයාගේ variables 3ක් තියෙනවා. හරිද? ඒක තමයි ඔයා අදහස් කරේ. මම හරියටම කියනවා අදහස් කරේ මොකද්ද කියලා. හරිද? variables 3ක් තියෙනවා. ඒ 3 යටතේ හිතන්න questions 5 ගන්න තියෙනවා කියන්නේ. ඒකනේ ඔයා
ඔව්
කියන්නේ.
සර්. ඔව්.
වහන්නේ සර් ඒ 15ම එකට දාලා මම දුවන්න ඕනද ෆැක්ට් ඇනලිසිස් එකක්. ඒකනේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න.
ඔව් සර්.
අන්න මම දන්නවා ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. Don't worry. නෑ පුතා. එහෙම දුවන්න එපා. වෙන වෙනම දුවන්න. අර ප්‍රශ්න පහ දාන්න ෆැක්ට් ඇනලිසිස් එකක් දුවලා බලන්න එක ෆැක්ටර් එකක් එනවා ඒක. අනිත් එකට separately ෆැක්ට් ඇනලිසිස් එකක් කරන්න. දෙවෙනි variable එකට. අර ඒකට අදාළ questions පහ දාන්න. තුන්වෙනි variable එකට නැවතත් questions පහ දාලා දුවන්න. එකට 15 දාලා 3ක් වෙන විදියට බලන්න යන්න එපා.
හරි සර්.
හරි.
thank you sir. Thank you.
question එක අහද්දිම කියන්න පුළුවන් පුතා මොකක්ද අහන්නේ. Good question.
Thank you very much.
By all means, by all means. And if you do have any other questions, please bring on this Sunday. I have extended the individual assignment deadline, as you know, as well as extended your group report as well as presentation to third, second to submit the report, and third to have the presentations. So take your time, do it very well. And if you do have any questions, bring this Sunday. May Sunday arangen, right? Okay, I'll be very happy to help you all. Okay, so with that, Huda, then we'll finish for today. Thank you very much for your attendance. Really appreciate it and your active participation. Right, so we shall then finish for today. Good night. Please take care.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, Huda. Good night. Please take care.
Yes.
Thank you, Dharu.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night, Dharu.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dharu.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dharu. Good night, Dharu. Good night.